What's up, people? Franklin Slason. Some days ago, I did a video that I was supposed to upload on the social media. I was supposed to upload that video, but I decided intentionally not to upload that video because when I went back, when I was watching that video again, I found out that in as much as what I was saying was quite the fact, but I felt the way I went about explaining those issues was not something I should be putting out to the public space. Now, I won't be giving you reasons why you should be happy. And I think happiness should not be demonstrated just by the smiles or the smiles that you put on your face or the makeups that you put on your face. Specifically, this video will be going to the women, I mean, married women. And the ones who intend to get married could be this year, it could be in the future. Uh, I think this would go a long way in helping you as to the kind of decisions that you would be making going forward. You see, a lot of emphasis has been placed in marriage, and marriage is very, very good. And I think it is one of the most beautiful things that experience you can share or you can have as a human in this world. But the problem here is, who are you getting married to? That is the question. And if you are not compatible, I think that is a stepping stone as to when you have to look at it and say, I think this is not something that I should be going into. But here I'll be giving you some reasons as to why you should step out of that marriage if you happen to be in a marriage that is filled with abuse and a lot of domestic violence. And most cases, when it comes to marriages that are filled with domestic violence, I think that it is mostly likely that the husband is abusing the woman. And I wouldn't want to come here and say there are no cases where the woman is abusing the husband. There are so many ways a wife can abuse her husband. It must not be physically. Okay. So now, if you are in a marriage that is filled with a lot of toxicity and abuses from your husband or from your spouse, I would advise you. I know a lot of scriptures or a lot of preachers would come to advise you as to this is how it should be. That in the scripture it is stated that it is for better for us in sickness and in health, in richer and in poor, and in whatever case quotations that are being thrown at you. Now it is understand that in this world we do have a limited time to live. I know sacrifice is something important that we should place a lot of emphasis on. We do have to make sacrifices, and I think that is one of the reasons why we humans we are evolving and not as much, not as the best pace as of which we should, but we are evolving to be something else. So I think right now, if you are in a marriage that is filled with toxicity and abuses, I would advise you that you should take a step back. Now, the reason why you have to take a step back is happiness is very important. It is very important as to how long you would live and how fulfilled your life would be here on earth. It is wrong to be in a marriage, or should I say, it is wrong to be in a union where as to you're not happy or you're trying to compensate someone else's happiness just at the expense of your own happiness. You could say at the expense of trying to protect your children from whatever reasons that you and I, in most cases, can understand. And in most cases, we would differ as to why you should be making such a decision. Now, I would not say that you should walk away from that marriage right now, but I would say that you should take a break. Take a break as to try to understand what you want. Try to understand what you want to do. Try to understand what you have to do. And the reason why you have to do this is to better understand yourself. And by better understanding yourself, you would know the kind of decisions that needs to be implemented. The reasons for this is because uh, in marriages, it is a beautiful thing to have children, to have a husband, It is a beautiful thing for a man to have a wife. I can tell you, I have seen successful marriages that are that is filled with so much good things that anyone who intend or who wants to further, who wants to endeavor into such paths would be very happy to go into. But in this generation, or should I say, in the 21st century, I think there are so many things, there are so many factors that makes marriage even more difficult, and I always talk about sacrifice. Sacrifice is very important, but you shouldn't sacrifice your happiness to that extent, whereas to you cannot even have peace of mind because you just want to make sacrifices and protect your marriage or protect the ones you love. So that is why I say, take a break. Take a break because you want to find yourself. You want to know yourself. You want to understand the life that you are living for the years that you have been in a marriage. How have you, how, what is the result? Have you been happy or sad? Or have you been treated unfairly? Or what are your chances that if you decide to stick with that marriage, that it's going to be better? What are the chances that there are no remedies to the situation of which you are facing? Now, it is very important. I think this is more on a straight side. It is not on a complicated side. It is on the straight side, as to you have to make this decision because you are making it for yourself. Then you can think about your children, then you can think about your husband. Now, don't be too fast in making such decisions, but what I would say is take a break. Take a break. It must not be that you have to stay in the same domain as your husband or the same apartment as your husband. You can decide to go to your mom's. You can decide to go to your aunts. You can decide to go to a place where you would have a chance to think about yourself, to find yourself, to to empower yourself to that extent, whereas to you have the information, or should I say, the answers of the questions of which you've been asking. So I remain Ike Kingsley. I would want to give you reasons as to when and how and the the behaviors you should be sporting, because in every marriages there are so many reasons, there are so many factors, there are so many negativity that you tend to see in marriages, and it plays individually. There is no way you can generalize this and say because you've had this experience then it's going to be the same as the other guy who is experiencing such situation right now. So I would say, if this is coming from someone who have never had experience, but I believe we most times try as much as we can to differ from the truth. We try to run away from the truth when the truth is actually in front of us. The truth about this is, if you are in a toxic relationship or in a toxic marriage, take a break. I don't think there's so much that you can do about trying to force the kind of change that you want. Take a break. Try and understand if this is something that you can take, if it is something that you can do. Give yourself reasons like, why should I be doing this? If this is something that I can do, why should I stick with this idea? And why should I stick with this solution? You should always learn to reflect on these things. And I would not be talking so much about the men as to the abuses they tend to direct towards their women, because I believe it also happens to men. Most times women do abuse men, but in a country as Nigeria, I think women are not protected to the extent of which they deserve. I believe no one deserves permission from anyone to coexist. I think everyone deserves to be part of the living, both a male child and a female child. Everyone do deserve the right to coexist. So all I'll be saying is domestic violence and abuse in marriage is not something that anyone should promote. They say you are what you promote. So if you are a woman, don't be scared. Don't be scared of what people would say. I know you would say, my family, I'm scared of what my family would say. I'm scared of what the church would say. I'm scared of what my pastor would say. Come on, take a break and find yourself. Try and understand the situation that you are in. Try and think ahead of time. How will it be if I make this decision? If I decide to stick with the same situation going forward, will it better my life? Will it make me happy? Happiness is very important. Like I stated, we do have a short period of time to spend here on earth. So, like I always tell you, I would not come and tell you the things that I think you already know. The truth is written in bold, and we all can see that. And so don't try to run away from it. Stick to it and use that to boost yourself and prepare yourself for the unforeseen future. So I remain AK Kingsley, aka Frank Kingsley, and I hope you all have a nice day. Peace.